see out here, street style, it's everything. Let's show them who's in charge. It's the takeover.
They call me FLACKO and don't play no more. That Drake and you bandana on my head. Ain't no strings up on my legs.
I'd rather put money on my grandmother.
I ain't ducking money, I ain't ducking bullets either. I ain't ducked short since I became a vegan. Probably ducked season, tried to pay before the season. Probably ducked off in a quiet place with your breezy. Proud of shades, probably why you couldn't see him.
And you driving like you stole it. I like your style.
I would like to dedicate to the scar on my face. All the stars in the globe. Where is your scar face?
That's how you do it? See, I was rooting for you too, man. You made me proud.
Sorry, welcome everybody to week 8, day 2 of Rocket League Underground. Today I am being joined by Senior Flip Flop, and we are going to have some JL action. So say what's up, Flip Flop.
What's going on, everybody? How we doing this evening? Hope everybody's had a good Saturday so far. I'm getting ready to see this awesome JL squad of the Scorpions take on the Mustangs up here and see what can happen.
Absolutely. And who do you think is going to win this match between the Mustangs and the Scorpions?
It's gonna be the Scorpions, man. It's gonna be the Scorpions. We have to
Totally
take the
not having every bias.
No bias whatsoever. But the Scorpions are hands down taking this game. On the paper, it's gonna work. In real life, we're gonna see it firsthand right here, right now.
Fair enough, though. I think in previous times, Mustangs have actually beaten the Scorpions. I think that was actually my last match with the Scorpions before I ended up leaving was against the Mustangs, and we ended up losing 3-1. So maybe come back for some revenge, possibly.
Some people might think of like a revenge thing. I like to live in the future, and I like to not live in the past so much. We're not gonna dwell on the past games and what might have happened. We're just gonna look to the future in today's game, and I know we're gonna put one up on the board in a W column for the Scorpions.
Agreed. Although I think we're having some miscommunications between the teams. Trying to get some stuff potentially set up before the match starts. I'm unsure.
Maybe. These guys are coming in.
I don't know.
A little bit about this game. Both of these teams are under 500 right now. All right. The Scorpions are only 4 games out of 500, but the Mustangs are 10 games out. 10 games out, which means neither of them are actually in the playoffs right now. If they have a good week this week, and if it plays out for the other teams in JL, they might have a possibility. But both of these teams, as it sits right now, are not in the playoff picture.
So, what does this mean for their playoff chances? Like, is this, if Mustangs win, they get into the playoffs, the Scorpions win, they make it to the playoffs? Like, since you're the stats guy, what's the weight of this game?
The weight is huge for both sides, because if the Mustangs can pull off a win here, if they go 3-0, which would be the best opportunity for them, they bring up that 500 score. They're getting closer. That means they've got 2 more weeks to put in some really good games, and if they can 3-0 on those games, the Mustangs have a shot of at least getting into the playoffs. But that requires a lot of other losses within the league. So it's honestly a better opportunity for the Scorpions to get in. They need 3 full wins. They need to win the season out, and 3-0 both teams here need to 3-0 the rest of the season. But the Scorpions honestly have a better shot at doing that.
Absolutely. And, I wish the Scorpions the best as we get into game number 1, JL Scorpions versus Mustangs. Here we go on the kickoff.
All right. Jesus going to take it up. Warad gets a good clear out of the nice save, but Zeta can't get the touch. He'll hand it over to Hutch. He's going to try and bat it back, but Zeta's covered and bounces it back over to the Mustang side.
Now Hutch trying to take a little bit of possession, going for an air dribble. Will he be able to get around Warrat? He goes for the double, but it's off, and Cheesecake decides to back off, letting Zeta on some offensive pressure for the Scorpions of his own. And Warrat trying to do something with it, but decides to leave the ball, and Hutch launching it all the way down to the Scorpions. Very back and forth between these two teams. Both teams seem to try and be setting up some kind of offensive pressure of their own, but it usually gets sent away by one of the opposing team's players. That's a big double fake challenge coming out from both teams, and now Mustangs lead up 1-0 with 4 minutes and 1 second remaining.
Yeah, that was a big miss on the Scorpions end there, and the Mustangs just took advantage of it. That open net and just made the Scorpions pay at that time for it. Zeta's going to try to control the ball in front of the net, tries to get it out. Cheesecake stops him. Warrad's going up to try and clear it, but can't. Hutch brings it back into the Scorpion zone, but gets killed by Warrad as he comes back through the field line. 50 back towards the Scorpions net. Warrad there to stop it. Zeta's going to take it up in the corner, trying to control it on the sidewalk. Can't get the touch he wants for it, hands it over to Mustang. Cheesecake tries to dribble it up, but gets stopped at the midline by Warrat. So clear it over to Hutch. He flicks over Zeta, but can't get it past Warrat. Oh man, this is going back and forth so fast. The volleys are just ridiculous. Cheese tries to take it to the Scorpion's net, but can't. He just loses it right at the end there.
Excuse me. Absolutely, and now Zeta trying to set up a double. It was them to get the Scorpions on the board, but it's set away now. Hutch trying to clear it out of the Mustangs half, but Zeta is able to get a hold of it, which responds over to Cheesecake, and he clears it out, but Warrat, having none of it, is able to hit towards the side wall where Hutch is, where he tries to clear it away. Man, I'm trying to keep up with these plays, but it just keeps going back and forth and hitting it over to a player. I mean, it's just so back and forth, super fast paced. Both teams just trying their hardest to keep up some form of offensive pressure throughout the game and not wanting to let up any goals or go on the back foot at all.
Yeah, it looks like they're getting a little too quick for themselves almost. Because Hutch had to bring it back the Mustang zone just to get control of it, but it's actually not an opportunity for the Scorpions to keep pressure on here and then just keeping the pressure with another bump of Cheese in the midline. Zeta tries to get it through the corner but can't. Cheese is there to stop him. Hutch with the 50 at the midline, but it's on the Mustang's back wall. And Warrat up and misses, but here comes Zeta playing it off the back corner. Can he get around it? Can't get the shot on that he was looking for. Warrat gonna still keep it in the Mustang zone. The double commit here. Let's see, can the Mustangs the Mustangs are gonna take that all the way back to another goal. It's 2-0 Mustangs. I gotta say, this is not looking good for the first game for the Scorpions, but it's unfortunate that they're leaving a lot of open spaces and they're just getting burned whenever they do.
Absolutely, and I mean, there's still time for the Scorpions to come back, but this is definitely not the way you want to start out for playoff contention if you're the Scorpions going down 1 in a season.
Yeah, especially
or in a series.
They really need to put up some defense here as the Mustangs go up with another score. Hutch here with a shot. Very powerful. Came in 47 miles an hour with those off the crossbar. So that had some speed to it. Zeta's gonna
Yeah, and I
take
mean,
the
that
kick
was
off
quite
here.
unfortunate. Oh, sorry.
Nope, go ahead.
Didn't mean to cut you off. But it was unfortunate coming up from War Rat. You know, he was trying to bang away the ball, but ended up getting intercepted and scored in the back of the net. With now Mustangs being up by 3. You know, Hutch trying to go for an air dribble, but it's tries to be sent away by War Rat, but Cheesecake 50s War Rat up in the air, and it just bounces down into the Scorpions net. Now Mustangs lead by 4. I think maybe we cast our cards to Scorpions by chance.
It's a possibility, but you know, I've got faith in the Scorpions. They can bring it back. You know, it's really tough living out there in the desert. And we've seen some heavy. There we go. There's another. There's a push. There we go. We're at with a score here late in the game. 4-1 still with the Mustangs, but there's a good stop and a good clear out of cheese there by Zeta.
Indeed. Kickoff going over towards the side of the Scorpions net. Hutch trying to do something with it, but isn't able to read the ball properly off that jump, which happens all the time. So I do it all the time. Now Cheesecake trying to set up a pass towards mid. Kinda gets one over to Hutch, and that was a soft shot coming out from Hutch, and Zeta was just barely able to save it away.
Super lucky there, getting
No.
that pinch out with that sidewall, crossbar, little post and stop there. Like, that is so dangerous.
Posty thingy.
It's the post thing. I couldn't think of it. I'm sorry. That is a Mustangs win. They take the game 4-1. So it's a little bit of a climb now for the Scorpions as they've got some work to do. They need to come back and get. I'd like to see a 3-1 series flip over here. You know, just take the next 3 games and really put the Mustangs back to bed. But we'll see what happens when they come back out. Looks like, yeah, the Scorpions really need to step up the defense. They need to watch their rotations and stop missing the ball. I was talking with a high-ranking player the other day, and they were critiquing my gameplay, right? Like, I'm down in Rookie League, and they just looking at me, and they're saying, just don't do that. Just when you're going to miss the ball, just don't miss the ball. It's that simple. Just don't miss the ball.
But yeah, the Scorpions really need to step it up on defense. I mean, Mustangs are putting on a lot of really good shots, but at the same time, it's Scorpions kind of giving them that leeway, that go ahead to be able to put on those shots due to maybe giving away possession a little bit too early, or just not being able to clear the ball properly. But here we go into a game number 2. Mustangs lead up by 1 in the series. Can Scorpions bring it back and turn it around?
Oh, they're gonna have to do it quick because the Mustangs might put it back on their own net right here. Close one. Cheesecake's gonna try and get a touch on it, but can't. He's coming back down the midline. Hutch is gonna try and. Oh, here's Warhead with a steal and a shot and a score for the Scorpions. Break out with less than 30 seconds on the scoreboard. That's nice. That's a good start. I feel like that's a great start. Definitely a difference in aggression coming out of the Scorpions right off the bat, getting that first goal.
Definitely, I do agree. That was a great bump play, seeing a lot more team coherence between the Scorpions than there was last game. You know, a lot more trust, just knowing to go for the bump, to clear out that back line, and to be able to put a shot on net. Now Hutch trying to clear it away to be able to start some offense. And Zeta's able to get the demo? Or I don't know, there's a demo on the back line somehow.
I think Zeta just flipped into him. The goal's wide open right now.
Ooh.
And Cheesecake just takes it to the hole. And it brings it back to 1-1. Only about 55 seconds, not even a full minute gone. We're back to zeros pretty much here.
Yeah, and that was kind of Oh, sorry.
Yeah, Borat's going to clip it into the Mustangs corner here, but Cheesecake's going to try and, handle it out, but he can't, loses it, but it is still going back into the Scorpion's zone. Borat's coming through the middle, is going to try and touch it back to the corner. He can't. Touch it to the side, leaving it directly for Hutch. He takes a shot and misses, unfortunately, off the post there.
So Cheesecake trying to set up a double tap, almost gets it. Hutch for the follow-up, but it's just off. So Warrat is able to clear it out.
I'd
Now
really like
he's
to
on
see
the
what the
offense,
story
trying to
is
start
gonna-
something. What's up?
I'd really like to see what the scoreline was for the post here after these games, because there's been quite a few coming off the post. Oh, and there's a demo by Zeta in the backfield, pushing the ball all the way up. Here's Zeta again. He's up in the air. Can't get the shot. Hutch is there to stop him. Morad's going to try here. Can't. If Cheesecake stops him. Here's another one. Here's a shot and a goal by Zeta. Another answer here. And the Scorpions bring it back to 2-1. That's the kind of stuff that I like to see. Hit it off the wall, get a good pass, and have your teammate just slam it home.
Yeah, that is something that you do love to see. Again, though, the Scorpions trying to set up maybe some more team plays with each other, trying to set up some more coherence with where each player is on the ball and trying to set up passes and demo plays. Although maybe they're getting a little bit too aggressive, as that backline and net was just wide open for Hutch to take a shot at after Zeta got beat on the challenge. Scorpions do need to remember, just because they're up in a game does not mean that they need to full send like they have nothing left to lose.
Gotta be able to protect that goal line. It is still the key to get more points than your opponent, right? That's the name of the game. And not having a defender back in the backfield really puts a hindrance on your opportunity to do that. As Zeta takes a shot, but it's going to be off wide on the right for Hutch to come and try and control his back corner. But Zeta's that back on the offensive again, bounces it off the top post, and Warrat put it away. He can't. He misses. It's wide open going back to the Mustangs into the Scorpions territory.
And now Cheesecake trying to pass. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Hutch going for a ceiling shot. Good time for me to come back in. Just Hutch going for a shot off the ceiling. Zeta not really in the correct position or ready for that shot coming in. Maybe thinking that it was going to be off, so didn't want to accidentally hit it into the net. And now Scorpions lead 3-2. Hutch definitely showing up mechanically today.
Yeah, Hutch has been up in the air, stopping almost everything that comes his way. And now he's showing that he can really get up there and put the ball away for his team too. As Warrat can't put it away for the Scorpions. Hutch up here controlling it again from the midfield. Stop Zeta as Zeta goes flying into the Mustang zone, trying to get back now. He cuts corners. Oh, they both committed, leaving it wide open again for the Mustangs. Another score for the Mustangs. 4-2 now, with a minute 12 left to go in the game.
That is kind of upsetting to see, because I'm not really trying to, turn on with the Scorpions, turning it around. But, having the lead as the Scorpions, it's a little disappointing to see, they've gotten the lead twice, and even being tied in the game, they keep seeming to leave that back end open, though that's a pretty good shot coming out from Warrat, trying to set up a pass from Zeta, but Cheesecake is able to save it away. Now Zeta trying to push out on the 50s, but Cheesecake over to Hutch, and Hutch is able to pinch it out. And again, that back line just wide open.
Yeah, the Scorpions are really...
If you're the Scorpions... Sorry.
Yeah, the Scorpions are really pushing
Scorpions
hard.
just fix up the backline. They're not playing bad, flip flop. I mean, they're really not playing bad. The team plays and everything is there, but the defense just gotta clean up that defense.
Yeah, exactly. There's a point where playing aggressive and playing with a little bit more brain on your shoulders as far as needing that space in the backfield. Always getting burned on it. They've been burned on it how many times already, and it just keeps on happening.
And now, with the time ticking down, the Mustangs take a game number 2, and they go on to match point. If you're the Scorpions, you just gotta sit back, get calm and collected, and just learn when to attack and when to defend, and maybe communicating, okay, I'm going to stay at as second man and stay towards the back line, and I'm going to be first man and lead the attack, because they do have good passing plays. The goals that they have scored have been off of demos and passing plays, which have been good, but it's just in the 99% of the rest of the game, they just leave that back line open when they don't need to, and it leads to a goal. So, I think if they can keep that offensive pressure while not giving up that backline too much, I think that they can turn the series around.
They should be able to turn the series around, but it goes all the way down to weighing that risk versus reward, right? So they're seeing right now that the risks that they're taking are not paying off with any rewards. Every time they take those, they try to do the solo plays, they try to build up to a team play, they just keep getting burnt. But we're gonna see what happens here in this third game. Hopefully for my boys, they can bring it back, and the Scorpions can get a reverse sweep here and show the Mustangs that they were just fooling around for the first 2 games.
Absolutely. Game number 3, triple match point for the Mustangs. Let's hope that it doesn't end up being the end of potentially the Scorpion season. So that's a great shot coming out from Zeta. Warrat not there to follow up the initial shot, but is there to continue the offense. As Hutch now trying to clear out the ball and get it over to the Scorpion side, and is able to do so, and almost goes for a follow-up touch in the air. That would have been crazy. Now Warrat trying to clear out the ball over to the Mustangs side. Sent away by Hutch.
Zeta gets a great pitch. Is it in?
Back and forth.
Let's go.
And that's a great clear from Zeta. I didn't think that was going to be in, but that was a great pinch 50 thing coming out from Zeta. And the Scorpions lead again. Let's hope that they can keep it this time.
This thing is sitting. Let's go. Alright, good clear. Mustangs are both on their side. Gonna get a good shot here. Oh, he passes it over to Zeta. No, really hard. Oh, good demo there. Warrat coming back into the midline. He's up again, but it's going to be back open to the Scorpions' corner. Zeta's going to try and clear it out now. Over cheesecake as they get back into the Mustang side. Both of them are up right now. This is dangerous. This is where they've gotten burned before. They've had some double commit issues all night, and they've gotten burned on them left and right. So hopefully Warrat can stop this as it goes off. Oh, it's off. Lucky for the Scorpions, that was off. That was a hard shot. Now Dribbler and Zeta with another pinch. Let's go. That's the way we do it, boys. Bring it back.
Scorpions starting an offense of their own. Zeta really carrying this game so far. Has 4 shots and 2 goals. We'll see if he's able to translate to the rest of the game, because there's still 3 minutes and 20 seconds left. Oh, as Zeta's actually the AFK right now.
What's going on with Zeta? It's not good. Warrat's all by himself. He's got 1 stop, gonna get another. You're gonna have to play by himself here until Zeta gets back in. Unfortunate. Looks like some technical difficulties here on this Mustangs side right now.
But sadly, due to league rules, we cannot stop the game. We just have to hope that Zeta comes back.
Yeah, the game must go on. If you're not familiar with the match rules in the game of Rocket League with the Rocket Underground, if you leave the match, disconnect from the match, or at any point, you have to wait until the next goal to get back in. That means if you reconnect and your teammate's still got a 2v1 and he can do what Morat almost did, then you have to wait for the next goal. It's the next stop.
Oh, Zeta.
That's not good.
But it did not matter anyway with Zeta coming in before the stoppage. This totally ties up the series. Yikes. You hate to see that.
Yeah, that is not good.
But hey, Scorpions and 2v2 were able to go up 2 goals, so maybe they can do it again and still regain their lead. So that's a big miss coming out from Zeta, but Wara is there to call him out. As Hutch going for an air dribble, trying to get fancy with it. But Zeta is having none of it and clears it out. Now Cheesecake intercepts and goes for a play of redirects, but it is off, and Zeta is able to clear all the way down. Now, Mustangs kind of leave their defense open as that's a shot coming in from Zeta. Mustangs taking a play out of the Scorpions book and just leaving their backline completely wide open. Now, the score 2-3 in favor of the Scorpions with 2 minutes left. Will they be able to hold the lead, or will the Mustangs come back and shut out the series? I've seen a revert. Last time I casted, last Sunday, I think there was a reverse sweep between the Hornets and the Beasts. So we'll see if maybe we get another one. Maybe, every time I cast now, we're going to have a reverse sweep, although Hutch is having something to say about it, and he is scoring for the Scorpions, or for the Mustangs to tie up the game.
It is back and forth with these guys, and it's going to be another crazy 90 seconds of Rocket League. I'll tell you that much. Moran takes a shot, but he can't make the shot, or it bounces off the post again, still in the Mustangs corner, as Hutch tries to bring it up, controlling it off the back wall, into the side wall, and a shot, and no score, but Cheese is there. Cheesecake's up, just cleaning up that little bit of garbage left in the side there, and just wiping the floor and putting it right back into the net. The Mustangs take the lead now, 4-3 with the Scorpions.
You gotta respect what Warrat did. I mean, he had to make the save somehow, and it was quite an awkward ball to be able to decide whether or not it was on or off target. So you can't really fault him for that, but it's just he wasn't able to get a good enough touch and a good enough clear. So it just ended up back on his side, and Cheesecake was there to clean it up after. And now Scorpion trying to start an offense of their own. Oh, go ahead.
A little bit of a double commit there, which is, again, how they got burned. They're down 1 point. They need to score, but you need to make a smart play on that. You can't just be throwing yourself at the ball. Double committing can be a team sport. And, I've seen some crazy double commits that have worked out, but right now the Scorpions really haven't made that come to fruition this evening with those double commits.
Sadly, not yet, as the last 10 seconds come into play and Mustangs lead up by 1 as they are also on the attack. Final 5, this is the final push for the Scorpions. They need to score now, or else their playoff dreams and their series is over, and they are not able to score. Mustangs
no.
heighten their chances to go to the playoffs in a sweep. Scorpions not looking so hot as far as playoff chances go anymore.
No, they really are not. They just lost those games, and it really is going to put a damper on their ability to even think about getting into a playoffs. Now they are dependent on other people, other teams in the league losing out just so that they can get in. That's really an unfortunate circumstance for the Scorpions. They did play a really hard game tonight. Mustangs put up a fight, and they just there there was a huge volleys back and forth. It was crazy speeds all night, but the Scorpions just got burnt on their double commits, and it really paid off for the Mustangs. They really took advantage of that.
Absolutely. And I mean, towards the end, the Scorpions were able to bring him back, and their backline wasn't open nearly as much. The all of the goals in the last game were just off of not being able to clear it far enough, or just off of good play made by the Mustangs. Um, but it was just a little bit too late. They needed to have that out of the gate. And since game one or game two, I mean, you go down one in a series and it's not the end of the world, but you go down two in a series and then you just start bringing it back and you start getting your act together. 99% of the time, it's just too late at that point.
Yeah, little too late. Unfortunate turnout for the Scorpions, but there's next week. You can always hope and pray on the next week, and I think there's two more matches left for the JL squads, right? So they still have an opportunity. It's going to take some thinking and some magic to happen behind the scenes and for other teams in the league, but there is that possibility.
Absolutely. And, I think they're definitely not completely out of playoff contention. Never say never for this team. And I think if they make it to playoffs, I think that they could be a pretty threatening team if they get their lineup correct and they're able to, form together and not panic as much. But, if they don't make it into the playoffs, then it's over for them. Or B, they do make it into the playoffs, but they don't get their act together and solidify it, then I think that it's a pretty done deal for the Scorpion season at this point.